Welcome back to our weekly walkthrough where we bring the above, below, and talk about the transits you should know. So this week, we are transitioning into Capricorn season. But first, things are getting a little weird and confusing. Again, I know, change of pace, right? We start off our week in mountain time. For some of you, you'll be like, that was on Sunday. But you know what? Time zones matter. And it's a little after 12:30 a.m. that Mars moves into exaltation in Capricorn. The goat is back and climbing the mountain. Mars loves the strategy of Capricorn, the steady incremental progress that says there is always something else to do and get done, which is great. But we also just finished like the Mars-Neptune square, and burnout is real, especially at the end of the year. So emphasis on the slow and steady. Like, you can get things done, but do it incrementally, brick by brick, step by step. With that, we have the truth reversed as our theme for the whole week. And this is a bonus card from the Alchemical Tarot Renewed. And it's this sense of not knowing what is. It's like when meta-analysis fails. Like, he's literally holding a card within the card. And this is like, we're getting a lot of the signs, we're getting a lot of information, but we don't really know what's true this week. And I want you to hold on to that. Hold on to the possibilities of things, the potential, the maybes, and, keep track of stuff as best you can, take notes, review, but do not overcommit to a belief right now, because we're in hairy territory, especially where Mercury is concerned. Now, for Monday, I drew the Emperor, and what makes me really happy about this is, the Emperor is often associated with Aries, but I've long made a petition for Capricorn. And with Mars's ingress and the Emperor showing up, I'm just saying the cards seem to agree. But no, it's both. It works for both in different ways, different Emperor vibes. But this is really about getting the work done. And on Monday, in addition to Mars ingressing, we have the Scorpio moon square Pluto at 1:23 a.m. Mountain Time. Not great, maybe some weird dreams, like body issues, making it harder to sleep. And then we have a trine with the North Node just before 11 p.m. So Monday is really just kind of getting our bearing with Mars, especially because Mars is ruling that Scorpio moon. And it's like, okay, the terrain is not great. How are we going to navigate it? And Capricorn Mars is good at that. Then we move into Tuesday, and we have our Page of Coins here, who is very much a work in progress. Missing an arm, still not quite put together, our little creative mannequin. We get the moon trine Jupiter, and then just before 9 p.m., Mercury exits the post shadow. We are done with the retrograde storyline. Mercury is still in detriment, so you're like, are you sure? Everyone has forgotten how to drive. People cut me off while walking in the store. Are you sure? And yes, that's a different problem. New story, new Mercury problems, not old Mercury problems. Because the post shadow, just a reminder, is when we exit the degrees that Mercury went over 3 times. Like before the retrograde, during the retrograde, and then this is our last pass. So after Tuesday, we're done with that story, onward and upward. And then we immediately get a Sun-Saturn square, which can be a bit of a bummer. As someone who has it natally, learning not to be a bummer with it, learning how to laugh at bad news, life skill, definite life skill. So with the Page of Coins, what I want you to bring in with that is that work in progress energy. Like, oh, the plan is not going according to plan. So what do we do now? How can we modify it? How can we be flexible? How can we be adaptable? And how can we address this barrier without letting it fully stop us? Like, it's more of a pit stop. It's like a stop sign. Where are you going? Which way are you turning? There is a possum in the road. You gonna wait? You gonna go around it? What's going on? Then we jump over on to Mercury's day, Wednesday, and we do, in fact, get our Mercury card, the Magician. And we have the moon trine Saturn, then opposing Uranus, trining Neptune before jumping over into Sagittarius and having a chat with Pluto. And this feels like our checkpoint day. Like, all right, we've spent a couple days getting our footing. We figured out what one of the obstacles is going to be. Now, how are we going to take agency and control of that? And what are we going to do about it? What is the problem solving? Like, we're checking in with all the outer planets. We're checking in with the landscape. So now what next? Like, this is a really good day to strategize on Wednesday, to take an assessment and to bring in some humor. You know, we're still in Sagittarius season for a little bit. Laugh about it. In Capricorn season, we laugh too, but it's very dry and everyone goes, "Are you okay?" And the answer is no, but yes. Okay, so Thursday, and yes, we laugh at our own jokes here. Highly recommend. Thursday, we have Moon conjunct Mercury at 3 a.m. and then at 1:23 in the morning. At the bending of the nodes, this is part of our, like, what is the truth confusion point on Thursday. And then Venus will trine Chiron. And we have death reversed. And this is that realization that, like, whatever the eclipse story is, it's like, oh, I'm still in that. I don't actually know what I'm doing here. Like, this is like microdosing an existential crisis. You know, it's just a little mini existential crisis. Don't take it too seriously, but do take note, do listen, do be like, what's going on? It's a very important question. And if you don't know the answers, what steps can you take to find them? Speaking of, on Friday, we have our new moon. And yes, I'm still doing the new moon thing. So if you're interested, it's open to everybody. Like, nobody gets turned away. So let me know. Hit me up. And I will rope you in. And it is it's over distance. So you don't have to get dressed if you don't want to. You just need an internet connection. But with that, on Friday, we have our 8 of Wands. That is, this particular one is like out of the fire, up to the pretty bow in the heavens. And we're trying to climb the ladder. Like, this is a message that carries us somewhere. And with that, the moon trines Chiron, conjuncts Venus, squares Saturn. Then we get our new moon action just before 7 p.m. Mountain Time, before a Neptune square. And then right after the new moon, we drop into detriment in Capricorn. And so with that, I really want you to think about, like, what expansion have you been completing over the last 6 months? Like, in that Sagittarius section of your chart, like, what are you ready to really sit with? What needs to be released? Like, to get out of the way? Like, what is the old crop? What is the old beliefs? All that stuff that's like, oh yeah, this isn't really working anymore, but I found this new thing. And we're kind of cleaning away one table and setting a new one. And really pay attention to those messages that come in. On Saturday, we have the moon conjunct Mars. Not a great body day, especially because it's ruled by Saturn and we're dealing with the Capricorn stuff. Then Mercury is at the bending of the nodes. And it's like, and Sun squares Neptune. Moon talks to the nodes, and then Venus squares Saturn. So we have the 3 of Swords reversed. And what I want you to think about with this is not like, oh, the heartbreak, everything's terrible, but more like, what are you just like over being upset about? Like, what stuff? It's like, I'm in my feels and I don't even know why I'm still in my feels about this. Give yourself self-care Saturday, and then try to let it actually be over. Like, if it is old, if it is stale grief, try not to overindulge it. Remind yourself that it's boring. There are plenty of things to be sad about. Like, continuing to go deep into the old stuff, it becomes self-harm at a certain point. So I want you to be really careful about that. Like, don't let the holiday blues dig you in too deep. Bring in the self-care and bring in the scrutiny about what needs your fresh emotional vitality. And then with that, on Sunday, we get our solstice, and we get Capricorn season, very punctual, just after 8 a.m. And then the Capricorn moon opposes Jupiter. Jupiter squares Chiron, moon squares Chiron, and we have death reversed. This is time for new change. This is time to take loss seriously.